Yeah. They were saying, you know, how much do you allow, how much do you... Marianne Modero.
I had arranged to go to this garden early one September morning, and as I drove there, it was the most fantastic misty morning. It was not really light yet, and but it was misty, and so the sun was, as it was coming up, it came through these trees, and it was incredibly exciting, because you just think, oh, I hope I'll be quick enough to actually catch this, because it's just very fleeting, the kind of drifts of mist coming in and the sun combining. Okay, this was taken with Leica R9, I think, and a 50mm lens. I usually, stop down quite a lot, as much as I can, and of course it would probably be quite a slow exposure as well, so to hold your breath and hope that there isn't any wind at that moment.
My photograph of the cosmos flower I took in my garden. It was in a tub sitting on the patio, and I just very simply just put a card, a pale green card behind it, and took it in natural light, and later processed it in Photoshop. I added a few textures and a few colour gradients.
I visited Lanhydrock House, Bodmin, Cornwall, looking for photos, and I found, this early spring, I found one stunning magnolia tree example, full of huge white flowers. Usually they're about 20 foot up in the sky, but luckily there were quite a few conveniently situated at eye level, so with this one, to show the centre part, I just held down the front petal with one hand, so I could see the whole flower really. It did have a black background, but I painted it to match the petals.
This is tree-lined landscape. That's my image taken in the south of England, and it's a telephoto lens. Springtime, it's got the lovely green colours coming through, and taken early morning when there was a mist, but the sun was starting to break through from that side. So that way you clearly see the shapes of the trees, the lie of the landscape, and the sort of the misty trees in the background. So.
I took this picture because I was very, very struck by the wonderful tension between what looks very, very fragile and then these very tense serrated edges on the leaves. I like that a lot. I was also very much taken by how the two sets are split into 4 leaves each, and how that is reflected in the composition. It's not a Photoshop cutout, it's photographed against a white background with lots of extra lighting. I've been using a lot of fill-in flash from behind to emphasize the translucency of these very, very young spring leaves in the lime tree. It was taken on my Fuji S3 Pro, and the lens was a Nikon 24 to 85mm lens.
I started doing this actually by accident, because, just as a chance thing, because I had a friend who lived in London and I knew she liked mushrooms, and I found one, and I thought, how can I send a picture of this to her quite quickly? And I just put it on the scanner and scanned it, and I loved the quality of it. I love things when they're in contact, because in the past I've done quite a few photograms and things like that. So I ended up doing this whole series of images based on putting fungi on the scanner and scanning them, and then taking them into Photoshop and arranging them. And the whole project, when I started, I wanted to keep it to the size where I could print it all myself without sending it out to be printed. So everything had to be the size that it could be done on an A3 printer, and the long ones were done with the panoramic printing facility on it.
Okay, this picture was taken last year, and I had my old camera, and it's of my brother saving a goal. And what we did is set up the camera on a tripod, and I kicked the ball to my brother, who desperately in an attempt tried to save it. And whilst he was saving it, I clicked the shutter as fast as I can. Obviously I had to use quite a fast shutter speed for this one, to try and freeze him in mid-air, which I think I did quite well.